Film Companion gets you your film fix. Hit the bell icon and subscribe to get notified every time we drop a new video.
One day I remember I saw on the call sheet breakfast 3:45 a.m.
What?
I was like, that's a midnight snack.
What I found the most fascinating was the kind of rawness people had back then. And I sort of relish that old world charm, and I just want to just imbibe it in myself and just kind of just let myself be with that.
Rasika, Shahana, Mahira and Tanya, welcome to Film Companion.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I have just gotten off a complete binge of lovely performances by you guys in A Suitable Boy. So congratulations firstly on a very exciting show that's up for release. I want to ask you guys, have you had the opportunity to binge watch it yet?
I haven't. I've just watched bits and pieces at the dub.
What about the rest of you?
We have. I mean, unfortunately, not because that's the wrong wording, but yes, I have managed to watch it. Not all. I still have the sixth episode to watch, so I will watch all of it again. And
Even I've managed to watch all the episodes, but I sort of am waiting to binge now because that I feel would do justice to the show. So I'm waiting for its Netflix release. Finally, 23rd October, it's coming out, and yeah, I can't wait.
No, absolutely. I want to get a sense from you guys on what the rules of engagement are when you are part of such an incredible ensemble cast. Of course, you don't want to piss your co-workers off on shoot day. So what is it that you practice to ensure things go smoothly?
I think I first really pissed them off and test waters and check how far I can push it. And then I retract from there. I think that's a very good method to do it. So this was a great cast, honestly. I know everybody comes on every show and says that about their cast, and I've worked on a lot of ensemble casts, but this one was especially special because there's so many actors with varied degrees of experience and different sorts of experience. Mahira lives in New York. She's done so much theater work. Tanya is relatively new. Shahana and I have worked together. We are Warsaw friends.
also, all of us had to, everybody here had to come very early because the whole period look, and with Mahira had like makeup to to age her and things. So it was quite a tedious process. We would all spend on an average 2 hours on a chair and all be lying next to each other on a chair trying to wake up.
And we had wedding sequences and Holi and Saida Bai's concert, and there were 30 actors at least in these scenes and all dressed up. मतलब मर्दों की मूछें लग रही हैं, औरतों के बाल बन रहे हैं. Then one day I remember I saw on the call sheet breakfast 3:45 a.m.
What?
I was like, that's a midnight snack.
My favorite memory is I'm sitting in the makeup van and Shahana is sitting there. She's getting her hair done. She's getting her nails done, and she's sleeping. This is at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, yes.
I love it. I knew there would be some great stories when you just have this many actors all getting together to really tell a good story. I want to just maybe get you guys to tell me how each of you landed the role. And I'm also curious to know how Mira introduced each of your characters to you.
Who wants to start?
Tanya.
Oh, we're all doing the polite
Why?
thing.
Why? Okay, fine. I'll start. So,
I love hearing this story also. So.
Okay, so I was actually working as a copywriter at the time, and I had no plans of getting into acting. And I was sort of kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life and where things were going for me. So I sort of decided to take a break from my full-time job and move to Melbourne for my higher studies. And around the same time, I get a call from a friend who was with me in the theatre circuit. And he says that, Tanya, I've shown your pictures to my casting senior, and he wants you to come in and audition for this project. And I can't really tell you about it because it's a little confidential right now. And I'm like very apprehensive as to what are you trying to get me involved in? But I go in and I meet Dilip Shankar sir there, who then tells me that this is for a suitable boy. And I hadn't read the book before this, but my best friend, she's like head over heels in love with this book. And few days prior, she was drawing some analogy from Lata's life, telling me how Lata chooses her suitors and how as Tanya, you also should draw some inspiration from her. And this was like totally unrelated. And I go there and I meet her and he tells me that this is for a suitable boy. And it was so uncanny to be
I
there
have
in that
goosebumps.
situation. I know, exactly.
Shahana, what about you? How did you find the feisty spunk that we see on screen?
I have no idea. I don't know what happened. I think it was the desperation to be a part of this project, where I think, I mean, ordinarily, to be very honest, I would never have um, the audacity to think that I would be able to pull that off. But I think there was really this thirst to be a part of this, and I love the character. I mean, on paper, I thought she was just so. She's just such an amazing, you know, completely free spirited, unapologetic, and wonderfully joyous character that I thought, she's so much fun. And so, yeah, I had done a test and I'd sent it across, and I wasn't sure how it went because even though it was back in the days when there was no corona, but I'd got used to doing self tapes with where I did everything myself. So I didn't have any help. I didn't have any perspective from anybody else telling me whether I was doing it right or wrong, and I had to wait to send in the test and see what the reaction would be. And Dilip was also helping me with that. So when he saw it and he got back to me, and then he told me that they really liked it. And then I got an email from Mira as well saying that she really liked it. And then there was a bit of a pause and waiting, and wondering whether it's going to happen or not, because there were still some things that were, there was still a waiting period.
Yeah.
And but something inside me started feeling like this was meant for me. And I'm not usually that person. I'm the first one to think, oh God, I've lost it, it's never going to happen for me. And but something inside me, I felt like, no, this is mine. And I waited for a while, and to a point where I actually thought that I wasn't getting the part. And then suddenly I got a call from Dilip saying, it was on 15th August. I actually remember the date. And I got a call in the morning saying, listen, we're just wondering, do you have dates, by the way, for this thing? And because we need you to come in. And I was just jumping and like pinching myself. And my friend, I was at my friend's house who knew about it. So I was looking at her and I was like,
Rasika, I want to get you in. I've heard of this wonderful tradition on a Mira Nair set where she does one for love. I want to know what that is about. Like, what it sounds so amazing, but tell me about it.
I was so relieved because that's exactly what I do on every set. And very often, because I always want that one extra take. When you've dealt with all the instructions that you've been given, you've incorporated it, you've understood it, it's seeped in, and now you just do one which is not conscious of all this. And that very often is the magical take. Sometimes it's really bad also. But if there's possibility of magic, it's this one. So I always like to do this one extra take. And every time I do that on other units, very often when I do that on other units, some directors get insecure. They're like, but we said that was okay. So why are you asking for another one? And I get a little scared because I'm like, I don't want to make the other person feel like I'm questioning them or not trusting them in any way. But I just really want this one take where all instructions are gone, done. We're just doing one more, and we'll see what happens. And Mira does that. I was thrilled and delighted. I was like, you are my director. I was like, I want this one for love. So it's great.
I
And
love
she
it.
gets thrilled if I ask for one more for love. So there were sometimes when Mira said one for love, And I'd be like, Mira, can we do one more for love? And she was so delighted. She was like, yay, I found somebody who likes to do this. So I was thrilled. I loved it. And in fact, we got our producers gave us bags at the end of the shooting schedule, and it said one for love.
Just a lot of love on this set.
A lot.
Definitely.
I'm also so envious of how, as actors, you can just transport yourself into another world altogether. Tanya, I know that you said that you just wanted to live in the 50s. What was the most fascinating part that each of you discovered about life then?
I think for me personally, it was, I mean, Arjun Basin, our costume designer, Stephanie, our set designer, all of them done such an incredible job of just creating that era and creating that period that you feel like you've transported back in the 50s. And for me, what I found the most fascinating was the kind of rawness people had back then. And I sort of relish that old world charm, and I just want to just imbibe it in myself and just kind of just let myself be with that. So yeah, I that was for me was what defined the 50s.
The clothes was definitely, being Meenakshi Mehra, I can't say that the clothes was definitely a huge part of it. A special aspect, I think, for me personally was also learning the tango, being able to learn the tango and to do a little bit of that and just casually throw that in somewhere. So
Yeah.
that was the fun aspect. And I think, yeah, I mean, like Tanya was saying, that the ambience was such, literally you would walk in on set and there would be a sea of people and you just really feel like you were in a different era. And that feeling, I mean, I'm somebody who anyway would have loved to be born in that period and that time. So for me it was really like living out a dream of some sort. And just the color, I think the lighting as well, like there was so much of this kind of sepia yellow tone to everything, which our director of photography declared, he lit everything in a certain way. And the the colors, both in terms of costume sets and the lighting, really made you feel that era even when it was not on camera, just being in that space. So that was also a wonderful thing.
So I'm going to wrap by asking you guys, when you're around such phenomenal actors, the guys included, was there like a practical piece of acting advice you learned just by being on set with someone? And let it be practical. Like, I don't want it to be all like lofty and far fetched, but just watching a great actor do his or her thing. Is there something that you pick up?
I think practical things would be learning to feel each other's energy and mind space. So it was, and we were, I think it happened kind of naturally, but it was nice to feel that somebody else also understood that about you. So when you need space because you might need to be crying, or when you need even to just take time off and go and cool off because it was very hot also when we were shooting, and just basic things like that, to have a good sense of each other without any words, without any communication. I think that was something that was brought in by everybody and kind of happened organically, and that was a nice new experience and a very practical, useful experience on a set.
Yeah.
I think working in big sequences, by that I mean like weddings and concerts and holy sequences with an ensemble cast is something to learn from, really. And I was always nervous about either asking too many questions or not asking any questions at all. So I was wondering how I should be negotiating this, because I'm like, I don't even know if the camera is on me. I don't even know if I'm registering on this shot. Should I ask this question now? There's so much happening. Maybe I'm not important. Should I or should I not? This was something that I was constantly grappling with. And I just saw so many actors around me, some with lesser experience than me and some with more experience than me, who just did it so well every time without it being interfering, without it being disturbing to anybody else around them. So I think that's what I learned from this, that how to ask your question with confidence without disturbing anybody in a big ensemble.
I love it. I'm going to try and squeeze one last question in just for fun, just for love. If you could be stuck with one character from A Suitable Boy in lockdown, who would you pick?
Saida Bai.
Good
All of
one.
us wanted to play Man. Everybody.
That's true. All of us wanted to play Man.
My pick is
I think I'm
Malti.
also.
Lata sticks with her best friend.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
I'll
I
go
would
with
pick
the same
Mia too.
answer.
I think I would pick the parrot.
That's a very
I
good
love it.
choice. I
I mean,
like being
the
alone,
parrot
so
would
maybe I
learn
just
all
take
the words I
Meenakshi.
would teach. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much, you guys. It's this camaraderie that really makes the show what it is as well. I can't wait for the world to see it on Netflix on the 23rd of October. Thank you so much for chatting with me and all the best.
Thank you so
Thank
Thank
much.
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.